I don't think.
We are talking The Witch in the Window. This one written and directed by Andy Mitton, and this is a kind of horror drama, emphasis on the drama. So the story focuses on this son and his father. The son's about kind of, I think, 12 years old, we're told, and his parents have divorced or split up, and, you know, he's due to kind of stay with his father for a while, and his father has built this kind of this new house that he intends to, well, he tells him he's going to flip, i.e. buy the kind of do up and resell. And, you know, want to spend some time with his son, so they go and kind of, you know, try and do up this house together. Now, when they're there seems to be some type of presence within this house, and they learn from the local town electrician that this home used to belong to this woman who had kind of some sort of bad energy. They don't really go into any kind of detail why that is. It's just kind of that she had a sort of sinister reputation, but no real details given. And she died there, and then she was kind of like, she died kind of looking out the window in this chair, and her body stayed there for weeks, etc. Anyway, it appears that there may be, not alone in this house, there may well be a kind of a presence there of this woman, Lydia, who people used to kind of refer to as a witch. What will happen? Well, you have to watch the movie to find out. So let's discuss The Witch in the Window. So first things for me, this is going to be a certain type of movie for a certain type of audience. This isn't for your slasher crowds. This isn't for your kind of visceral gore horror. This is a slow-moving, slow-burn, dramatic movie with supernatural elements and a few kind of eerie moments and a couple of jump scares. This is not a bloody, visceral horror. It is in fact more a character piece. And one of the biggest strengths for me were the characters of the father and son, expertly played, particularly the young son played by Charlie Tacker, who just gives an excellent performance, I think, and really kind of sells you on this character of being a little bit of a tearaway, but at the same time having a deep kind of like connection with his parents, kind of like you really got a good sense of where both the acting and the direction was given them. But their father as well, I thought their interplays were very well done and seemed very authentic, and you really got the impression this was a father and son dynamic, and you know the relationship between them was very true. So I thought that was excellent. I thought the acting here was on all counts very, very good. But also the way I like the way this movie was written, in the fact that it kind of there's small it subverts your expectations in a few small ways. There's no real kind of big, massive kind of reveals in this movie. But there's just a few small things that I feel like you don't see that often in horror movies. Like, for example, when the kind of like this spirit is revealed, their reaction to it I thought was actually quite kind of realistic. And also there's the small little changes. For example, the ghost doesn't show up on a camera. Like if the kid tries to kind of take a video of it, it doesn't show up. But they both sort of see it in real life. They kind of know it's there. And normally you'll kind of see it kind of almost the other way around. So I kind of quite liked it, and then just kind of like their kind of reaction to it was just, I always complain about people kind of not acting realistically in horror films, but I feel this one kind of does. So I actually quite liked it, and I thought it gave a very kind of authentic, real experience of maybe what it would be like to kind of live in a haunted house until we get to the end, which we'll come on to. The effects are kept to a minimal standards. You know, this is not an effects-driven movie, but I feel the movie does deliver on a kind of creepy, eerie atmosphere that I feel does make it sort of a little bit unsettling now and then, and there are some great use of kind of just makeup, just sort of more subtle kind of makeup and kind of lighting, camera positioning and things like that to kind of give it a spooky and creepy edge. What doesn't work for me? So, as I've mentioned, this is more maybe a taste thing, but some people may just find this a little bit too slow for their own good. I mean, It's like I said, it's more of a drama than a horror. So I can imagine some people who want an actual horror more than a drama, where maybe will be disappointed. So I'm warning you now, this is more of a dramatic movie with some kind of like supernatural elements. The only kind of real critique I had, to be quite honest with you, I thought the last act was a little bit weaker. It seems a little bit kind of unrealistic compared to the rest of the movie. In regards to the decision that the father makes, doesn't ring true to me. In regards to what would happen and what was kind of previously established with these kind of characters. It just didn't ring true to me, and it just felt like that was kind of written because that needed to be the end of the movie. So I didn't kind of like that. And then just the kind of the way that was handled as well, I thought was drawn out just a little bit too long. But overall, I've got to say, I thought this was a well-made movie. Certainly not going to be for any type of kind of horror fan, like I've said. But if you do like a kind of a slower, character-based movie with some good characterization, some good acting, then I will say that you probably will enjoy this one. It maybe doesn't have a particularly high amount of rewatchability value, but I feel if you certainly like you know, drama and kind of well-drawn characters and kind of good acting, you may want to give it a watch at least once. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.